Hey, welcome, Tony Wright Crypto. Bitcoin USD technical analysis for today and the rest of this week. I want to try and get this wrapped up in about 20 to 25 minutes. Be sure to stay around to the end. I'm going to just twine some extra little nuances into the video so that it can help you with your TA. If you're new to the space, and if you're not new to the space and you maybe have been trading for some time, there's still maybe some tricks and tips that you might be able to glean along the way. Why not? Pow, pow, pow. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so you'll have to let me know, guys. I've got this new microphone here. Hello. It's not actually new. It's a microphone that I've had for years, and I use it for when I do my live music on stage. But I thought I'd have a change because before and on all my other videos, I've been using the Scarlett Studio mic. Which you guys may or may not have seen. If you're YouTubers, you may have seen the set. But I bought it with the interface and all the rest of the sort of stuff. So now I'm using the SM58 beta. And see, it'd be interesting to see if it sounds any better or not. Okay, right, now back to Bitcoin. Okay, timestamp for this. I'll stick in the description below so that you can just go straight to it. Right, so it's pretty much a naked chart from the point of view of having things on there, other than the death cross, which is about to happen. The death cross is when you have a longer moving average. In this case, the biggest, most famous one is the 200 moving average, where the 200 moving average, it takes the last 200 candles or time frames, in which case we're looking at the daily. So it's the last 200 days of price action. And it's so that will tell us how long it's been. So in this case, the 200 moving average was this big green one here is the 200, and that has only just started to come down when the actual price started coming down back here. So it's not even really. I mean, it's probably this or maybe even this one. I have to count, or maybe even this one. I have to count 200 candles back to find out when. Where this sort of bend is actually mirroring, and then you then, so once that's on the screen, you then get another one, which is a more close moving average, in which case it's the 50-day moving average. So you can see this downtrend here. All you got to do is go back 50 candles, and you'll see that this day, this sort of like downtrend is starting to take into consideration all of the candles up until 50 days ago, and then which is why it's starting to tightly stick to the price action of where it's going at the minute. That way, what you've got is you've got an actual trend line, which is where the major trend is going over a long period, versus the more short time period, weeks, months, of where it's about to go. And what we're seeing now is that the immediate price, the way that the market's going, is the market's going down. This is the 50-day moving average. It's going down, and it's going to cross under, which means that the whole thing is about to go bearish, which is why they call it a death cross, meaning death is about to happen among us. And so lots of traders would take this seriously and go, I'm either coming out of the market or I'm going to go short when it crosses, and it's going to happen in the next couple of days, possibly, unless we get a major spike. But even then, because it's a lagging indicator, I don't think that's going to make any difference. I think the way that the dynamics are working on the angle of the cross, I think it's going to happen regardless. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see in a few days what's going to happen. But is it something that we need to be worried about? And the answer, in short, is with regard to this cross, not necessarily is what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about these death crosses and golden crosses per se. Are they something that we should be worried about? Well, in the Forex market, yes. And in indices, yes, they are things that you need to be really wary of, because they can signal massive moves, especially when you're dealing with high leverage, like contracts for difference, CFDs and things like this. But here, this is where we got the golden cross. So this worked out in our favor. And this golden cross has been in play where the where the 50's been above the 200 for quite some time, and obviously now we're about to get this death cross where it's sort of like this. That would be, yeah, this would be your entry, and then up there where I've just been is your exit. But here we kind of got this fake out. Well, it's not fake out because it did drop, but because it's a lagging indicator, you know, is it it the V-shaped recovery came back so fast that I don't know, like that's a death cross there. Yeah, it did go down, but like it was only a matter of, well, that happened on the 12th of March, and it was back where it was March, April. So within 6 weeks we were back at the price where we were. So is that something that you would turn around and say is death defying? Well, in actual fact, no, because it was the same day that we ended up going up. We ended up going up from there up to its peak on that day, up at 13% above where the death cross ended up giving us a death signal. Well, in actual fact, the death signal was down here where the drop had already happened. Look, it was actually there. So if you'd have taken out when the actual cross happened, you'd have made a loss, because you'd be like, no, I'm coming out of my trade now, and then it goes up against you. So the death cross didn't really play out. It was a bit junk. And again, here you got this golden cross, and not a lot happened. So when it comes to, and again, you got your golden cross, death cross here. Well, actually, that didn't cross over there. But my point is it gets either so close or they fail. They don't happen. They don't give you very much. Again, there was that little bit of a funky crossover here. Didn't give you much. So they fail very regularly on us in Bitcoin. So am I worried about this death cross here? I'm not overly worried. No. Why? Because in the past, death crosses have not given us have not really, the more often than not, they've failed on us rather than giving us an absolute, you know, death cross where we're going down like 70% or whatever. The golden cross worked for us quite nicely on this on here. This was a lovely golden cross entry point. But this could just come over, that could come over, go back over, back up, and then we go up. So what other things have we got on here that we can bring onto the chart? Well, those of you that are on my channel, that part of the Discord, that speak to me on a regular basis, know that one of my favourite things is the VPVR. And that is the visible range. So if we bring that to kind of somewhere where, let's go from kind of where the bull market started. Well, let's go from the cross. So the cross started just there. In fact, it was just there's the halving that I've put the halving line there. So if we have from the halving onwards, that takes that kind of that squeeze of the Bollinger Bands, that squeeze, and then the bulge happened, and then we're up. So now if we look at the point of control, obviously that being down there, the proper point of control, but the recent point of control is, in actual fact, this line is no longer something that I need to have in place. I think it's locked at the minute, so we'll just unlock him and bring him down to where the point of control is. That is the highest set of orders locally, and there it is. So am I worried? No, we've got a lot of support there when it comes to orders, so there's a lot of people trading in this area. I feel that that's going to be a high point of resistance. Something else that we need to take into consideration, especially when we're dealing with death crossers and the VPVR, is making sure volume is up. And if the death cross happens and we have a massive increase in volume, then we know that everyone's going to get on the back of the death cross and they're going to trade it, in which case it is something that's going to really play out quite strongly. Like when the death cross happened, where it was just here. Let me move that out of the way for you guys. Death cross happened just, let's bring this down, just here, and we got a cha cha cha, boom boom. So we had a spike there as the cross happened. We had a spike just there as that cross happened. See this one here, this fake out which didn't do a lot. Volume was flat, nothing at all. And the same with this one here. Did you get much volume? Yeah, we got a little bit, but not a lot. This wasn't actually. You can see people thinking, okay, something's going to happen here, but it didn't. But we still got a high, obviously 2 days worth there, of high volume. But again, it was about when the cross happened. So now what I'm doing after all of that, and I'll just sort of like get rid of it all because that was just sort of showing you how important the volume is when it comes to bringing that into play. Let's get rid of all those lines for a sec. If we now, no, Tony, we're getting rid of those lines, which means you need the cross on. That wasn't croissant, that was cross on. Yeah, so we go to the halving, and then we look at the visible range. We've got no increase in volume. The volume's still down and going low, which means that I'm not expecting a massive sell-off. That's one of the things that I'm looking at. I'm also looking at the bringing up the Ichimoku cloud. Those of you that again that know me know that I like to use the Ichimoku cloud, and what I'm going to do there is turn around and just get rid of site-wise the EMAs so that we can't see them, and that brings the Ichimoku cloud into focus a bit more, and our Kijun and Tankan are more visible. So yeah, what we have got is a kind of cross. It's a positive cross, and it's the cross that's happening just here, which is a bullish indication that the price of Bitcoin is about to start to go to the upside. But it's only like I would say like a 25 percent chance. That's not the right word. If I was going to put £100 in to trade or to buy of Bitcoin, I would only put £25 in here. Then when the price action enters the cloud with the lines, with the blue underneath the red, I'd put probably another 25% in. And then when I get out of the cloud with both the lines above it and the price action above the cloud, that's when I put the rest of my money in. And that's how I personally play it. This is not financial advice, but that's how I use the Ichimoku cloud when I'm buying or making a long. So yeah, all in all, whilst the death cross is about to happen, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I am actually feeling quite bullish on Bitcoin and the market in general. If we come down to, I'm saying come down and then scroll up, go to Bitcoin dominance. This is the basically all of the altcoins and what their net worth is, and we look back to when Bitcoin kind of started. Bitcoin was at 100 because it was the only cryptocurrency, and then we had, you know, I'm gonna make these ones up. Let's say XRP came on the scene, and then let's say Litecoin came on, or Ethereum came on, and then Chainlink came on, and then you got all the other projects that start coming on. Then what ends up happening is you got more and more people spending money into altcoins than Bitcoin. In which case, on the scales, all of the money which was all on Bitcoin is now starting to go to the altcoins. So the scales are tipping down towards altcoins now. And really anything below 60, which is kind of this range here, which is probably why we've got the VPVR right there, anything below 60 is in indication that we are in an altcoin season, meaning that altcoins are doing well. However, and the Ichimoku cloud does work in the Bitcoin dominance too. We have got a turnaround we're in the cloud now. So this is resistance. In fact, if we look at the VPVR again, we've got a big candle here, right where the price action is. We've got 3 days of in this zone here. So we've got a lot of people trading Bitcoin. The volume's steady. There's not a massive increase, but that's a positive thing, because if we started getting red candles coming down here really quickly, I would say that people are putting their money into altcoins again, and Bitcoin would and could fall. But I say we've got so many orders going on that this seems to be a real strong place. It wouldn't surprise me if we get quite a significant amount of time in this cloud for a little while, but time will tell. Again, no financial advice. Please guys, like the video and stay to the end, because there's something else that I want to say at the end of the video. Okay, so yeah, so I've said to like the video, and you're going to like that for me now. Okay, so that's the Bitcoin dominance, and let's go back to the Bitcoin USDT. That's not the one. There was another Bitcoin one, and I marked it in red because it was a good Bitcoin. It was a good Bitcoin one. There's Chili's. That's the one there. Yeah, okay. So that is the situation. All right, so now we'll just get rid of this Ichimoku cloud for a second. And the fibs, I want to just bring the fibs up to show us if the Fibonacci um, uh, numbers and emotional uh, levels. I'm going to go from here to here. No, it's not the it there. Let's try again. I'm going to go from here and I'm going to drag it upwards because I'm feeling bullish. Shows us that we are finding support and resistance at the 50%, but the 61.8 price range, which is again the VPR lines up nicely with it, shows us that we could go down and find some support at $37,500, but that we will have a resistance at 40. So really, what I'm looking for, ideally, I mean, there is a W pattern potentially playing out, but it's not quite right. It doesn't fit the. In fact, let me get the Bollinger Bands up and have a look to see if it does fit it. I don't think it fits the criteria of being a proper W. No, it doesn't. Okay, so with the W pattern, I would like to have seen the first part of the W touch the bottom of the Bollinger Band here, and the second part of the W coming down and touching it as well, and it didn't. We wicked in, but the actual body of the candle didn't touch the bottom of the Bollinger Band, which for me is a major indicator as to whether it is a proper W or not. But we'll see. Again, we'll see if everything plays out. Right, now I promised you that there would be something at the end. Now, ultimately, I guess that was a little bit of a false promise because I don't know what it is that I'm going to give you, but I promise you that I'm going to give you something, so I'm going to do it. And that's going to be, let's get rid of the, I just wanted you the viewing hours so that my YouTube channel succeeds and allows me to continue to make these videos for you, because this is going to be my only form of revenue with regards to my time. Which is another thing that I'm going to be releasing soon, is how to become a millionaire without having to go to work, and there is a way of doing it. So I will look out for that, and that is something that I'm putting together and I will bring out soon. Okay, so the hash ribbons. So what you got here on, I don't know if you guys have seen the hash ribbons before, but when we had the halving, after the halving happened, we had the, hang on a sec, let me get rid of that, minimize him, let's pull this out. Right, so we had the halving just here, and then we have this buy signal. Now it's at the buy signal where you normally get massive gains, but this doesn't happen very often. You don't get the hash ribbons giving us massive buy signals, but when they do, they normally give us massive moves. And then so that gave us. I mean, if you'd just taken that move there where that buy signal came in, it gives us a buy up until the next sort of set of buys, which is there. Gave us 100% move, and then the next buy signal, which was here, has given us a all the way up to the top there, a 220 and 247% move. But if we'd have taken the whole package and turned around and said, okay, well, this is the buy signal that happened just after the halving, then you'd have to go from here all the way up to the top, and you'll find that there's a 634% move, which sounds massive and incredible, when in actual fact it isn't that massive and incredible when you consider what happened with the last Bitcoin halving and the buy signal that happened. If we go from the bottom to the top, if we go, let's get rid of him for a sec, down, so that it gives me an opportunity to scroll up and give us the whole kind of picture. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get it. Yeah, if you go from the last time that the buy signal happened, which was about here, and then you go to the top, you're looking at 5,860% gains from that halving. 5,000. Bear in mind, we've just done the video. I've just shown you that we're at 600% at the minute. Well, the last time we did the halving, that was a 5,000% gain on the buy signal after the halving. Okay, so there's positive things there. Halving, here it is. I'll just put it back down. Do the measurement again for you. There's the buy signal. That's where we were just there, and we went up to 600%. That's nothing compared to the 5,000 or 6,000. And then the previous halving before that, if my memory serves me correctly, that was about 3,900%. So we are only just starting the bull run. And as we look at the 2017 spike, you know, and we turn around and say, well, look at the mountain. I mean, that was ginormous, where we went up to 20k. If we sort of like that, make that more localized, on the way up, we were having massive drops. So from here down to there was a 60% drop. What have we just had? A 60% drop. And then a bit later on, we dropped from there. Hang on a second, sorry. The shift button might work actually for me. We dropped. Nah, let's just press the button. Yeah, then we dropped again from there all the way down to there. That was a massive wick, 100%. I'm not going to use that one though. We'll go to there. 40% drop. And then we had a bit later on, we had a 30% drop. And then kind of going in, we had another massive drop, 30% again. So 30% is, but every now and then you do get a 60% drop. So this was huge. This was huge back then. And then of course we had this really dull area that just seemed to go on for ages and ages and ages, until we got the golden cross, which is given us where we are now, which is now. If we sort of like look at that massive mountain that we've just looked at back in 2017, that's it. It's a little bump. It's just a little blip. I mean, there's hardly anything. Now look at this. This is just starting. So this is going to be a mountain. No, it's going to be huge. It's going to be up here. And then the next one in 4 years' time from there. Where's that going to take us? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? So yeah, my gut feeling, again, not financial advice, is we've found support and we're going to carry on. And this death cross will be a fake out to scare and shake out the weak hands. But we will see. Time will tell. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. I gave you the extra thing. Wasn't sure what it was that I was going to give you. It's the hash ribbons, and that's how they work. It's not how they work, but that's how you would use them to trade. Again, just to let you know what you've got. So you've got your buy signal. Your green areas here are when you get what they call miners capitulation. So what ends up happening is miners are turn around, and their reward to the amount of blocks that they mine gets reduced and increased, so that the miners can continue. Because without it, if the price that they're getting, the reward that they're getting, doesn't pay enough, then they end up closing the mining rigs, in which case Bitcoin can't function without the miners. So this algorithm, so to speak, is controlled so in such a way that the miners continue to get paid, which is why it's so strong to say that when there's a buy signal, it's saying that the miners are all back on board, and it's rally time, because you know, Bitcoin's in Bitcoin season. Yeah, and normally it starts off light, it gets darker and darker. If I just zoom in there for you, it gets darker and darker green, and then we get the blue. And then here, I thought we were going to get a buy signal, to be honest, just here, but the buy didn't flash. And here now, even though we're getting a death cross, we are getting minus capitulation happen, and we're getting some greenage of the green piecage. So we'll see what happens. We could end up coming out of there and having another buy signal here, ready for the next leg up, which looks like it could possibly happen at the beginning of July. So hold tight, my mans. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to sign out. I'm going to roll out the out clip, and I'm going to say adios. Okay!